Men's hands were in the dirt with mine, teaching me how deep roots needed to go. And I realized my ex-husband had spent 15 years making sure nothing I planted ever had the chance to grow. Here, Marcus said, his fingers covering mine on the small spade. When you hit resistance, that's when you push deeper. That's where the good soil is. His hand was warm, calloused, strong. Diego knelt on my other side, studying the sapling we were planting. Your ex really never let you touch the garden. He said I'd ruin it, that I didn't know what I was doing, that professionals should handle it. I looked at the three of them, Marcus, Diego, and James, brothers who ran a landscaping company together, who'd shown up 2 weeks ago to quote the restoration job and had spent every day since teaching me that my hands were capable of more than I'd been told. Well, James said from behind me, his hand coming to rest on my shoulder. He was an idiot. You're doing great. 2 weeks. That's how long they'd been here. That's how long it had taken for my neglected, overgrown, dying yard to start looking like something that might bloom again. That's how long it had taken for me to start feeling the same. 3 weeks earlier, the divorce had been final for 6 months. I'd gotten the house, the one Richard had controlled every detail of for 15 years. The garden was his domain. I wasn't allowed to plant anything, move anything, touch anything. He hired professionals, made all decisions. I just looked at it through windows. After he left, I let it all die. Didn't water, didn't weed, didn't care. Watching his perfect garden turn to chaos felt like the only revenge I had. But 6 months of dead plants and overgrown weeds just made me sad. I wanted something living, something I chose, something mine. I called 3 landscaping companies, got 3 quotes, chose Garcia Brothers Landscaping because their quote included this line. We believe in teaching clients to maintain their own gardens. We'll restore it with you, not just for you, with me, not for me. That mattered. They showed up on a Monday morning, 3 brothers in their early 30s, Marcus, the oldest, clearly the leader, Diego, the middle, with an easy smile and gentle hands, James, the youngest, with tattoos and a directness I appreciated. Show us what you had, Marcus said, walking the property with me. I didn't have anything. My ex-husband controlled all of it. I was never allowed to touch it. Diego stopped walking. Never. Never. He said I'd ruin it, that I didn't understand gardening, that it needed to be perfect and I'd mess it up. That's fucked up, James said bluntly. Sorry, but it is. It's okay. I know it is now. Took me long enough to figure out. Marcus looked at me carefully. So, what do you want now that it's yours? No one had asked me that in 15 years. What did I want? I don't know. Something that's mine. Something I choose. Something that doesn't have to be perfect. We can do that, Marcus said. But you have to help. We're not doing this for you. We're doing it with you. You'll get dirty, you'll make mistakes, you'll learn. That okay? That's perfect. Day 1, they taught me about soil. We dug up the dead plants together, all 4 of us on our knees in the dirt, pulling roots, clearing space. Marcus showed me how to test soil, how to know if it needed amendment. Diego explained drainage, pH levels, what different plants needed. James just worked beside me, occasionally reaching over to help when I struggled with a stubborn root. You're stronger than you think, he said when I finally pulled a dead shrub free. Your ex really did a number on you, didn't he? 15 years of being told I'm incompetent will do that. You're not incompetent, Diego said from across the bed. You just weren't allowed to learn. There's a difference. By the end of day 1, I was filthy and exhausted and happier than I'd been in years. Day 3, they taught me about planning. We sat at my patio table with coffee and graph paper, designing what would go where. They asked what I liked, what colors, what smells, what I wanted to see from different windows. I don't know, I kept saying. I've never been allowed to choose. Then we'll try things, Marcus suggested. Plant some options, see what you respond to. Gardens aren't static, they change. You can change them. Richard would have said, that's wasteful, indecisive, poor planning. Richard sounds like he was a controlling asshole, James said. Sorry, but come on. I laughed. He was. I just didn't let myself see it. Diego's hand covered mine on the table. You see it now? That's what matters. The contact was brief, professional, but it made an impression. Day 5, they taught me about planting. We worked in pairs, rotating first with Marcus, learning to dig proper holes, to handle roots gently, to water correctly. His hands guided mine constantly, showing me depth, teaching me to gauge when soil was right, adjusting my grip on tools. Like this, he'd say, his presence close as he reached around to demonstrate. See how the resistance changes? I noted the resistance. I was aware of his warmth. I found myself noticing every point of connection. Then with Diego, who was patient and kind as I made mistakes. It's okay, he'd say when I apologized for the 10th time. Gardens forgive errors. Plants want to live. You're learning. His hand on my shoulder, steadying, his fingers brushing mine when we both reached for the same tool. Then James, who worked beside me quietly, just keeping me company. You're doing great, he'd say occasionally. Stop second-guessing yourself. By day 5, I was noticing things. The way Marcus's jaw clenched when he concentrated. The way Diego's eyes crinkled when he smiled. The way James's tattoos moved when he worked. The way all 3 of them touched me casually, often like it was natural. The way I wanted them to keep connecting with me. Day 7, it rained. We couldn't work outside. They showed up anyway. Said they'd help me plan the indoor plants I wanted, organize my tool shed, whatever. We ended up on my covered porch, drinking coffee, talking. Can I ask you something? Diego said. Sure. Why'd you stay so long with someone who treated you like that? I thought it was normal. My parents were like that. Dad controlled everything. Mom just accepted it. I thought marriage meant someone else made decisions and you followed them. That's not marriage, Marcus said. That's control. I know that now. Therapy helped. The divorce helped. This I gestured to the garden. To them helps. How? James asked. Because you ask me what I want. You teach me instead of doing it for me. You let me make mistakes. You treat me like I'm capable. You are capable, Marcus said firmly. I'm starting to believe that. We sat in comfortable silence, rain drumming on the roof. I was aware of Diego beside me on the bench, aware of Marcus's attention, aware of James's shoulder touching mine, aware of being wanted, seen, valued, for the first time in 15 years. Day 10. Something shifted. We were planting the rose bushes I'd chosen, deep red, fragrant, thorny. Marcus was teaching me to handle them without getting cut. Careful, he said, his hands covering mine on the stem. Find where the thorns aren't. There's always a safe place to hold. You just have to pay attention. His face was close. Our eyes met. The air between us changed. Marcus, I said quietly. Yeah. Are all 3 of you? Am I imagining something? He didn't pretend not to understand. No, you're not imagining it. What is it? We're attracted to you. All 3 of us. We have been since day 1. But you're a client and you're healing from something really painful and we didn't want to. I'm attracted to you too. I interrupted all 3 of you. And I don't know if that's okay or allowed or it's allowed, Diego said, appearing beside us. You're allowed to want things, to choose things, to explore things. Even with all 3 of you? I asked. James joined us, especially with all 3 of us, if that's what you want. I don't know what I want. I've never been allowed to want anything. Then figure it out, Marcus said gently. We're patient. We're not going anywhere. The job's not done yet. But we all knew the job could have been done in 1 week with just them working. They were stretching it. We were stretching it because none of us wanted it to end. Day 12. We were in the far corner of the yard, planting the privacy hedge I'd chosen. He was showing me proper spacing, his hands on my waist to position me correctly. I turned in his arms. He made a surprise sound, and then we were close, his mouth on mine, slow, thorough. His hands stayed respectful on my waist. When we broke apart, Diego and James were watching from across the yard. That okay? I called to them. Very okay, Diego called back. Your turn next, I asked. If you want, James confirmed. I wanted. That night they stayed after work. We sat on the patio drinking wine I'd opened, talking about everything. About their business, their family, their lives, about mine, about Richard in control and learning to choose. About what this was between us. We've never done this before, Marcus admitted. 3 of us with 1 woman. We're brothers. It's weird. Does it feel weird? I asked. They looked at each other. No, Diego said. It feels right. You feel right. What do you want? James asked me. Like actually want. Not what you think you should want. Not what's proper or expected. What do you actually want? I took a breath. I want all 3 of you. I want to know what it's like to choose something for myself, to explore without shame, to be with people who see me as capable and valuable. I want to keep learning from you about gardens and about myself and about what I actually like. Then that's what we'll do, Marcus said simply. That night, they taught me what it was like to be with men who valued me. They undressed me slowly on my bed, taking turns, asking permission with every piece of clothing, told me I was beautiful in ways that made me believe it, despite years of Richard making me feel invisible. They were with me with patience and care. 3 different approaches, but all focused on teaching me what I could experience when I was valued instead of controlled. They were generous and attentive and made me feel like learning myself was something worth celebrating. We stayed close through the night, and by morning, I felt like I'd planted roots in soil that would actually let me grow. You okay? Marcus asked as dawn broke. I'm more than okay. I looked at all 3 of them. The garden's almost done. The garden's never done, Diego said. It keeps growing, changing. You keep tending it. Does that mean you'll keep coming back? If you want us to, James said. I want you to. 6 months later, the garden is thriving. Roses bloom, vegetables grow, the lawn is green. Everything I chose, everything I planted, everything I tended. I'm thriving too. Marcus, Diego, and James still come by 3 times a week. Sometimes for the garden, mostly for me. For us. We're figuring out what this is. 3 brothers who somehow work as partners in business and in this. A woman who's learning she's allowed to want multiple things, multiple people. A life that doesn't fit anyone else's plan. Richard drove by once, saw the 4 of us working in the garden together, my hands in the dirt, laughing at something Diego said while Marcus and James planted nearby. He didn't stop, just kept driving. I didn't even pause, just kept planting, because I finally understand. I'm not a garden that needs perfection and control. I'm soil that needed the right conditions to grow. And these 3 men gave me exactly that. Space, choice, sun, water, room to make mistakes, permission to bloom however I wanted. The garden is beautiful, but I'm the thing that grew.